All right, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy. And after yesterday's video, first and foremost, thank you guys so much for all the support that you guys showed. You know what I'm saying? Seeing something new on the channel, it might take some of you guys by surprise, and it's immediate for a lot of people to just throw a lot of hate and shade for anything that's not Marvel Future Fight. But I appreciate all the love that you guys showed on that video. And a lot of you guys actually hit me up asking me my opinion on the 4 starter champions that they give you at the beginning of the game. So that's what I wanted to talk about for this video. Keep in mind, this is just my personal opinion based on what I know so far, right? But I think a few of these characters are actually very viable for in-game content, and overall I think all of them are really good. So let's jump into it, man.
I think I'll pass on this one.
Elhain, I think he likes you.
Not for long. Well shot! Where did you learn that? Hunting orcs.
The Arbiter cannot bar me forever, Elf. You and I will have our day. Let's keep moving.
Four of them! Come on! Which of you filth dies first today?
Athel, we really don't have time for this.
Very well. Take them. By the light, I'm glad you're on our side.
Yes, just one big happy family, mortal. Move along. The sooner we win, the sooner I'm free of you.
Spread out. The artifact should be here somewhere.
Easy, everyone. Every dragon has a weak spot. If I can hit it just right.
I think I like this dragon.
Well, that could have gone better. Any ideas?
We attack together. On 3. For Plarium! For the Arbiter!
Alright guys, so when it comes to choosing your first champion, man, ultimately you gotta make a decision. Are you gonna move off emotion, or are you gonna move off strategy? And what I mean by that is, are you gonna make a decision based on how each of these characters made you feel while you were watching the trailer? Because for me, if I was gonna move off emotion, and what I strongly thought about doing after watching the trailer, is choosing this guy. If I was moving off emotion, he's the champion that I would have picked, simply because of the fact that his armor just reminds me of God of War, and he has these flaming axes that kind of remind me of the Blades of Exile. However, ultimately, since I don't know much about the game just yet, I decided I was going to do some research, and I also was going to look at the skills and think about how they would possibly play out in the game. So I decided that he was actually not the right fit for a first champion, in my opinion. And looking back right now, I think he's the weaker one of this entire lot. They're all very good champions from what I've seen so far, but he seems like the weakest one. What you guys want to know? The strongest one is this guy right here. And honestly, I thought about picking him as my first champion just because of the fact that he's an elf, and I really like elves, specifically dark elves. However, after I looked at his A1 or his skill 1, I thought, nope, not picking this guy, simply because of the fact that I'm coming from Marvel Future Fight, a game where poison damage is pure garbage, and I didn't want to take the chance on a poison character as my first character just in case it didn't do jack. And then come to find out, this guy is a savage. savage. This guy is pure beast, right? I run into him pretty frequently in PvP, and honestly, he always gives me a hard time. Like in my first 3 or 4 days of playing the game, I would see him as the only character on a defense team, right? 4-star level 40, and myself having 5 4-star level 40 characters. I'm thinking this is an easy win. I got this in the bag. Call me the bag boy. I got this. I'm going in super hype thinking I'm gonna crush this guy into oblivion. Then he starts off with his AoE, right? Because he has so much speed built in, and then I just watch my team get disintegrated, right? I've lost a lot of fights against this guy, so I gotta learn to respect him, man. This guy's actually a beast, and I actually did some research, and he's one of the best characters in the game, right? So yeah, boys, this is the champion that you want to pick if you're moving off strategy. Poison in this game is not like Marvel Future Fight. It's actually very deadly. That's 2.5%. That's 2.5% of the enemy's max HP for 2 turns, right? So the more HP they have, the more HP they're gonna lose. So yeah, this guy's actually a beast. And the cool thing about this game is, since this is his first skill and the first skill never has a cooldown time, you can use this every single turn. You know what I'm saying? So this guy is pure beast. He hits like a truck. He adds all these debuffs for poison, and he has some AoE built in. And AoE in this game is really good, right? So this A1 right here, this skill 1 is actually pretty cool, and it's one of the reasons why I think he should be your first champion, because this guy's a beast with it. But then he has AoE on his second skill, and if he kills one of the enemies with the acid rain, then he fills his turn meter 25% faster per enemy killed, right? And that's probably why I was having such a hard time with him in the arena, because he would almost always open by killing one of my characters. So he gets 25% more. Oh my goodness, 25% more of his turn meter filled up because he killed one of my characters, right? And then he got some more poison. If you think the 2.5 was nice from the 1 skill, he has 5% here on his third skill. This is on a 5-turn cooldown. You can get it down to 4 turns, so it's not as like OP broken as the first one. But man, this guy puts in work, right? He puts in work in the arena, and from what I've seen and heard, he can do work in the campaign and basically every piece of content in the game right now. So that's actually really cool. He has the standard HP leadership. They all have it, right? So yeah, man, don't sleep on this guy. He's definitely the top pick here. Luckily for me, I decided to pick this girl right here, and she's actually pretty damn badass. I really like her, and the reason why I picked her is because of the fact that there's a few things in here that I really like. The first one is the A1, or the skill 1. Because it doesn't have a cooldown, she's attacking one enemy 3 times, and she has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff on them for 2 turns, right? And weaken in this game is basically defense down. So that means that the next turn, I'm gonna immediately be doing 25% more damage, because it's a 75% chance you're hitting 3 times. You're basically guaranteed. You're basically guaranteed to get this defense down on whoever you're hitting, right? And that's gonna give you 25% more damage. The beautiful part about it is there's no cooldown on this skill, right? So that's actually really cool. Then we have a standard AoE for the second skill right here, pretty cool. Then we have this skill. This was the selling point for me, Higher Blessing, right? Because of the fact that she places a 25% attack buff on herself for 2 turns, so she's stacking her attack even higher to go with the weaken right here. And in addition to that, if her HP gets too low, she gives herself a 30% defense buff. So she's really nice for a starter champion, because she's giving you that quick balance of attack and defense to help you push through the campaign, which is where you're going to spend a lot of time in your first few days, right, of playing this game. So that's why I chose her as my first champion, and that's why I rank her very highly. For me, she's probably the number 1 pick, but overall, from everything I've seen so far, bro, this guy Kale, bro, he's pure savage. So I gotta shout him out, man. He's pure savage. Next up is this girl right here. She's an elf, so she was immediately on my radar of a character to pick, and I actually really like her skill set. I love the fact that synergize very well. The skills synergize very, very well. So the first attack is very simple. She attacks one time, and if the first hit is a critical, she'll attack a second time. That's pretty cool. However, if you take a look at her second skill, that's an AoE skill, right? And it says it places a 30% crit rate buff on her if the target is killed. So she's attacking one time, then she's attacking all the enemies. If one of those guys die, then she gives herself a 30% crit rate buff, which makes it so that there's a higher chance of getting off an additional shot with the first skill, right? So I really, really like that. I really like that her skills synergize very, very well. And she is the only character here that has 2 AoE skills, and AoE is really good for clearing mobs and that kind of stuff while minimizing the amount of damage that you take. So gotta shout her out, man. Elaine, even though she got eaten in the trailer, you know what I'm saying, she's a beast, low key. Right, next up is this guy, the one I wanted to choose as my first champion, but ultimately I think he has the weakest kit overall. Not trying to say that he's a bad character. I think all of these champions are very good, the ones they give you at the start, but ultimately after looking at their skill sets, I think he has the worst one. That's just my opinion. First skill, he attacks one enemy 2 times. Pretty straightforward, right? Nothing special about it. Then we have the second skill, which is an AoE, and he places a 30% speed buff on himself. 30% speed is really good. Speed in this game is very important, but it doesn't really appeal to me, or it didn't really appeal to me, right, at the start of the game. Still doesn't, but it's definitely good, right? Then we have his third skill. He attacks 4 times at random. I do not like that, right? Because sometimes you just want to get rid of the most powerful guy on the enemy team. So random doesn't speak for me, right? That's part of the reason why he's down so low. Also, the cooldown time on this skill, right? Anyways, he attacks 4 times at random. He has a 30% chance of placing a 30% defense down buff for 2 turns. So kind of like this girl right here. He has a chance to put the defense down. For her, it says weaken, but it's basically the exact same thing, right? However, he has a 2-turn defense down on a 5-turn cooldown. For this girl right here, it's a 2-turn defense down, right? And yeah, there's no cooldown, bruh. There's no cooldown. So this is just way weaker in my opinion. You gotta wait 5 turns. Sure, you can get this down. Actually, you can't even bring this down. So it's that, like, I thought for a second there you could bring this down to like 4 turns, because all of the other guys, for their third skill, you can level it up and you can reduce the cooldown, yeah, by at least 1. For him, let me see something. Yeah, for him, he's the only one that you cannot reduce the, okay, for her, you can't reduce the cooldown. But for real, yeah, 5 turns. Your fights, you don't want your fights lasting 5 turns. And even then, you don't want to wait 5 turns for some defense down. You're better off going with this girl, which has no cooldown at all, right? The 60% seems nice, but waiting so long, nah, man, that's not for me, right? The random factor is not for me either. So that's ultimately why I decided to put him at the bottom here. But some of you guys who've been playing longer than me, let me know if you think this guy is deserving of a spot higher up than this. Ultimately, I think he's the 4th best right here. Even though he's the poster child from what I see of this game, I think he has overall the worst kit here. Not trying to say he's bad, I'm just saying compared to the rest, he's just lagging behind a little bit. But anyways, boys, we're gonna wrap it up right here, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. Just wanted to give y'all my thoughts on these 4 starting champions for Raid Shadow Legends. All good champions, but this guy right here, man, he's a freaking beast, so I gotta respect it. You know what I'm saying? He's a beast, man, and I'm kind of salty I didn't pick him as my first champion. I can't lie to y'all, but at least I got the 2nd best option, you know what I'm saying? So I'm rocking with it. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.